Greetings all you bitches. It is I Mechagodzilla and today I am going to respond to a video some ultra conservative theocrat made recently. This man's name is Greglock and you may have heard that name before in Earthhound's videos and now I am going to show you what this asshole is like.
Hey guys, Pastor Greglock here. Every day of my life, liberals and progressives send me messages saying, how do you believe all that nonsense in the Bible?
Because the only parts of the Bible people like are the stuff Jesus said and you don't even live by them.
Nonsense, you say? Let me just randomly run down a few things that you believe that are super nonsensical. First and foremost is the belief that socialism is great.
We don't all believe in fucking socialism, we mostly believe in social democracy and just want a fair free market.
No, socialism always leads to communism.
No, communism leads to communism.
It's the death to true capitalism.
No, Reaganomics killed true capitalism.
And somebody really does have to pay for all that free stuff.
Yeah, it's the fucking government that pays for shit we don't actually need, like a $600 billion military and multi-trillion-dollar interventionist wars that only benefit the oil companies. Who needs healthcare, education, and an infrastructure? Let's just keep bombing countries and make enemies for future wars.
There's a reason guys like Bernie Sanders have initials like BS.
BS can also stand for Bible scriptures, you fucking Bible cuck. Why are you always hating on Bernie Sanders anyway? His chicken is delicious and I think I remember that he promised a chicken in every pot. Wait.
Number 2, climate change is an actual threat to our civilization.
Because it fucking is. Ask any scientist that isn't employed by the Koch brothers and they will back me up.
I'm sorry the public school system has failed you.
I would say the same to you. I'm also sorry that the world's richest country has elementary schools that have rats crawling across the desks. But no. Let's not build better ones, let's just keep putting military bases in countries that hate us and give weapons to Saudi Arabia to fight wars for us, even though they are the fucking devil, and if it weren't for their oil we would have bombed the shit out of them a long time ago, since they fucking gave weapons to Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and ISIS.
And you have believed the lies of billionaire Al Gore.
And you have believed the lies of billionaire Charles Koch.
The world is going to do just fine with or without us.
I'm going to quote you on that. When you are 80 years old spreading margarine on a square of Soylent Yellow, just remember that Tuesday is Soylent Green Day.
I'm unbelievably shocked that people actually believe number 3.
And I'm unbelievably shocked so many people believe that dinosaurs only lived a few thousand years ago and that the world is flat.
Especially people like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
You were just butthurt that Bill Nye debunked Noah's Ark. Bill Nye taught kids a lot of things in the 90s, and while his new show is a subject of controversy, he has made more of a contribution to teaching kids than you could ever dream of making, since the only thing you teach kids is how big your dick is.
They say overpopulation is a real problem.
Then why don't you fucking explain why sperm counts have gone down an average 30% over the course of 3 decades? I'm waiting.
Do you even hear yourself when you talk?
Do you even hear yourself talk? Do you get a free flatbed with that accent of yours? For a pastor who is homophobic, you have a really sissy voice.
Overpopulation is a real problem. Did you know the math doesn't lie?
The math also doesn't lie when you determine the Earth's age. And in case you are too stupid to count zeros, 4.5 billion is a much bigger number than 6,000. Who gives a shit if some hippies from the West Coast think there are 737 genders? It is a much more believable consensus than that the entire human race is descended from 2 human beings and that a fucking snake talked to them.
You can take every person right now on planet Earth, give them 2 square feet of living space, and put all of us side by side in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, in one city. Overpopulation, my hind leg.
And how are we going to provide for them when only 1% of the water in the world is fresh and we have starving children here in the United States?
And then coming in at number 4 is the belief that is super naive from the politically correct crowd saying guns are bad. Guns are evil.
Guns aren't evil. Bible thumpers like you are evil, and Jesus would be disgusted with every last one of you for what you turned his message into. A franchise of propaganda, fear and hate, extorting people and scaring them into working against their own interests like giving money they earned through actual hard work to scumbags like you.
No, you don't get to blame spoons because you overeat, nor do you get to blame guns because there's violence.
And you don't get to use the Bible as a shield for spewing bigoted hate speech against gay people. You fucking called them pedophiles and compared them to crackheads one fucking day after the Orlando shooting.
The only thing that's going to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
What could also stop a bad guy with a gun is universal background checks, which is something 90% of Americans want but won't get, because the Republicans that hijacked the government are bought and paid for by the NRA.
Say it with me, guns aren't bad.
Guns aren't bad.
They do save lives.
They do save lives. Wait, oh no, you tricked me into converting to your side. I guess I can't argue with that one though, since 40% of my body is guns. Shit.
And let's certainly be sure not to forget the fifth sacred cow that super liberal people believe. You can identify with whatever gender you want to.
Accusing all liberals of believing in more than two genders is like accusing all conservatives of believing that Operation Jade Helm was a plot to create martial law in Texas. And if you are talking about transsexuality, that isn't being the gender you want, it's being the gender you believe you are, and I have nothing against it so long as you actually have time to think about it and don't just jump on a plane to Thailand and get your genitals eviscerated by a guy who doesn't wear shoes.
So the next time you laugh and scoff at me for believing that God created the world 6,000 years ago,
Whether or not there is a God is always a never-ending debate, but he did not create the fucking world 6,000 years ago.
there was a worldwide flood,
If you literally believe that God flooded the earth, then congratulations, you worship a mass murderer.
Jesus died for the sins of humanity,
And this is how you repay him.
and the Bible is the Word of God.
The Bible is the word of politicians who want to control people. The Old Testament before Christ was called the Torah, and it literally translated to the law. Guess who wrote it? People.
Just remember, you believe some very foolish, ridiculous nonsense.
It's also foolish, ridiculous nonsense that Jesus told George Bush to murder Iraqis. Being gay is a choice and is tied to pedophilia, and that the fucking female body can shut itself down when it knows it is being raped.
So I'll take my chances with God, not with you.
Thank God that's over. What an asshole. Hopefully this guy is caught in a scandal soon and is exposed as the fraud that he is. I might make more commentaries in the future, but for now I gotta go to the Mariana Trench and battle a radioactive seahorse. Later, skaters.